welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a different type of video. This is a tag video. I don't do a lot of these generally, probably mostly because I don't ever really get asked to do them that often, but I have done a few, like if you look in the archives, the older videos back in the day. Today's tag though is the beauty consumer tag, and I was tagged by one of my favorite YouTubers, and some of you may have found me through her channel. It is Andréa Matillano. She is amazing. She is a fellow YouTuber who we actually have very similar styles of like makeup we enjoy. We have similar skin where it's a little oily and you kind of want to fill your pores. She is also really beautiful and really articulate. I feel like she is one of the people that I always watch if I want to know how a product is, and she can word things so beautifully that I love her channel. I think she is so sweet and amazing. So if you have not checked out her video, go check it out. I will link her below. And the creator of this tag as well. The 90s love child created this tag, so I'm going to link her video down below as well. Now, I have a list of these questions here, but I've not really thought too deeply about them because I kind of wanted this to be a little bit of an organic chit-chat video with you. So let's jump in. What I thought was really interesting about this tag, and something I thought you guys would enjoy watching, is because it's kind of like that behind the scenes, you know, inner workings of the costs and what you're excited for, what you're not excited for. Because when I was watching YouTube videos as a consumer before I had a channel, I was always like, I wonder how much money she spends on makeup every year. And I can tell you, for me, it's definitely changed and fluctuated through time, but as of this moment, let's jump into a bunch of these questions here. And I'm also going to be inviting people to be tagged in this as well. But if you have a channel and you want to be part of it, please go ahead and jump in there and send it to me either here or on Instagram, and I'm gonna love watching these. Okay, so the first question is, how much do you spend on makeup a month and a year? So this question is probably different this year and from other YouTuber channels, because I'm sorry if you have heard me say this over and over because you've been a long time subscriber, but if you are new here, hi, I'm Nicole and I live in a tiny house on wheels. A lot of you have heard me say I live in a tiny house, but you don't really fully understand, like, what does that mean, you live in a tiny house? Like the HGTV style tiny house. Think of like you had your regular size large house and then you put it down into a tiny footprint in a little tiny house. That's what I live in, and I really love it. So my answers are probably going to be very different than most beauty creators on the platform. So that's kind of also why I thought it'd be fun to do this video. So, okay, how much do you spend on makeup a month and a year? I started to break it down from last year because I really was curious, and I'm probably a little off. But for the total of 2019, I believe I spent a little under $900. That includes Boxycharm, Ipsy, and my last year's like fourth quarter, I was kind of purchasing some higher end products that I normally don't do, so I was making sure I added everything in. I think I was a little under 900 bucks. For some beauty creators, that's like nothing maybe, and for some people that's a lot of money. And for me, living in a tiny space and doing this twice a week, every week, I was curious about what my answers would be. I think I would like to get that a little lower this year, but well, time will tell. Why, like I said, I don't usually buy like those hard to get eyeshadow palettes and stuff, and I feel like on the back half end of 2019 I did get sucked in and really wanted to try some eyeshadow palettes that I was excited for, and I've talked about a lot on my channel. So I'm actually not too upset with the amount that I've spent in 2019, because for being more minimalistic and only keeping the things that I love and things that I use and getting Boxycharm, which is a great deal, and some things from Ipsy, I thought that's pretty decent. How much do you spend on makeup a month? Honestly, not a lot. I spend my Boxycharm amount, which used to be $21, but I believe that's up to $25. I also spend $25 on Ipsy, but honestly, that's borderline with me this year. I may be dumping Ipsy this year and saving that 25 bucks, because putting those two together, that's 50 bucks a month at minimum. So that's the one I know I can like hang my hat on and say for sure, I know that's how much I spend. And every now and again, I'll have to repurchase like a mascara or maybe a new shade of foundation or something. But as many of you know, I have never been one to have to buy immediately. I like to look, I love window shopping, but I do like to see reviews and make decisions based on my skin type and what I need in my collection. Second question, do you ever feel guilty about how much you spend on makeup? Yes and no. When I first started my channel, the answer would have absolutely kind of been yes, because I was a newlywed and I knew we didn't have like a ton of money to spend on makeup, but I was also very mindful about what I was purchasing because I wasn't purchasing the high-end stuff. I remember when my channel first started, everybody was like, oh my gosh, Fenty just dropped their brand new line. It was a new collection entirely, and people wanted me to try the foundation. And as much as I was really interested in it, I don't even think to this day, yeah, even to this day, I've still not tried it. Maybe I should put it on my list. I didn't jump out and try, even when I was kind of requested early on, like, hey, would you go try this, $50 foundation? I was like, that's definitely on my radar, but I knew I wasn't going to be purchasing stuff like that right out the gate. As far as now goes, I'm very mindful, and I think you guys see that a lot in my videos about what I'm bringing into my beauty space. So I don't feel guilty now when I spend money on makeup, but I can tell you before I was more mindful, like when ColourPop was dropping everything and I felt like I had a little bit of that collector's mindset. I was wanting to buy a lot from ColourPop. There was a time where I was maybe a little feeling guilty about it, but I was always trying to be mindful of like, what am I purchasing? Is it cost effective? Will I use it? Those kind of things. Third question, do you get FOMO related to makeup releases? I would be lying if I said no. There are some things that I do get FOMO on, especially brands that I'd never tried. For example, last year I had gotten my first Natasha Denona palette. Before that though, totally curious, totally had that FOMO. And then when I would watch bigger YouTubers who had stuff sent to them, or they had way more expendable cash to purchase things like a $130 eyeshadow palette from Natasha Denona, of course, I was just like salivating watching those videos. But now, I feel like the FOMO is a little less. Now, is it because my beauty space can only hold so much? Maybe. But is it also because I now know that good makeup doesn't have to be crazy expensive? Yeah, I think that's also kind of it. Makeup has changed a little bit and YouTube has changed. So I feel like I don't feel the need to buy everything or have to have something new constantly to review. So that's actually really nice. But yeah, some of those new releases definitely talk to me, and I look at them and I'm like, I feel like I'm missing out a little bit. Do you purchase or keep items simply because they are limited edition? No. You probably saw in my recent declutter, I actually did get rid of a few things that were considered limited edition. First thing that comes to mind is a ColourPop Super Shock Shadow that was like the 4th birthday collection. I had just said then, I thought it was smart marketing, and it is, because people are going to be like, oh, no one else can buy this, it's limited edition, or it came with whatever. I used to think that was really cool, but now, if anything, if I talk about a product on my channel and I have it in my beauty collection, that means I want to talk about it. You probably can't get it if you don't already have it, or, sometimes funds don't make it easy for everyone to get something that's limited edition out now. So no, I don't feel like I need to hold on to that. I have decluttered things that are limited edition. It doesn't drive me in my makeup purchases. Would you be willing to pay more money for a sold out product online? Oh, like if you, say there's a new eyeshadow palette, say Tati drops a new palette and then it sells out, and if it's on eBay, I think that's what that means. No. If that's what that means, no. Honestly, if it's past and it's not meant to be, I'm one of those people that truly does think, okay, well then it wasn't meant to be. Usually if something is sold out and I'm still interested in it, for example, I wanted to get the Thirsty palette from Jeffree Star, I believe over a year ago, and it was sold out, but they were doing a restock. So I did just put it in my calendar when they were doing the restock, and it wasn't difficult that second time around to get that palette. P.S. if you don't know, I do believe it's being discontinued now, heads up. But no, I don't think I would be willing to pay more money for a sold out item, because that also means if I'm talking about something that's sold out, you guys can't get your hands on it. So what's the point in talking about it on a channel that if you guys can't get it? You know what I mean? That doesn't drive me either. I'm not about keeping up with the Joneses. If you haven't noticed, that's really not my thing. I just kind of do my own thing here, and I'm okay with that. Do you feel compelled to buy something when you see it in someone else's collection? I feel like it depends. If someone like Andréa Matillano talks about something that I know a lot of her recommendations have worked for me and my skin and the style of makeup I like, I can be persuaded if it's someone that I trust, or if it's something that has already been on my radar and I'm specifically looking for reviews to decide, is this something that would work for me? Then I could say, yeah, sure. I would be like, for example, this Becca under eye brightening corrector. I heard about it from another influencer, did my due diligence and research before I got it. So in those ways, yes. But as far as like, oh my gosh, all the beauty channels got in PR, or they're doing all these big reviews about the latest and greatest eyeshadow palette, that does not entice me unless it is something that speaks to me and I know it's something I would use and love to talk about, and can talk about it in my own unique way. Because as we all know, the platform can get totally saturated with the it item of the moment, and I don't always like to jump into that. I like to do things a little differently and make sure everything I have is stuff I love. Do you buy more during the holidays? Okay, in past history, no. I don't. If anything, I'm more mindful of finances, and I'm like, oh, I would get so much joy out of giving my husband this for Christmas, or maybe we're going on a trip that I'm saving up for the holidays, comparatively to, oh, it's the latest and greatest eyeshadow palette. You have to get this. It's the holiday collection. I don't generally do that. However, having said that, this past year, 2 big launches came out about the same time that I was really intrigued by from prior time frames. Like, I knew that Tati Beauty was going to be coming out with some kind of something soon, so I really wanted her eyeshadow palette, and I did get that. And the Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson docu-series, and then when their palettes came out, I did want those based off of that. I didn't have anything like them in my collection. I knew that a lot of you would be wanting some looks from it because you were interested in it as well, and I really wanted to try that formula. There was a lot of great things about it. So this past year, I feel like I did, but they weren't holiday releases. They were just kind of like independent releases in that November time frame, which fell into Christmas as far as shipping went, but you know what I mean. For the most part though, not so much. If a brand that I love comes out with this huge holiday collection, I don't tend to just go, oh, mine, gotta have it. I don't go that way. Have you ever hidden a makeup purchase from a family member or friend? Ooh, have I? The only thing I can think of is sometimes, like, if we're doing weekend like errand shopping and I know I'm out of a foundation, or I know my foundation is no longer matching me because I'm one of those weird in-betweeny shades. Like, if my husband and I split, he goes one way, I go another to go grab stuff to be more efficient. Sometimes I will make a little quick stopover and be like, ooh, do they have the foundation color I need? Or, ooh, is there anything new over here from this brand? And it's all usually drugstore at that moment because I'm either like in a Target or CVS or something like that. And every now and again, I will have grabbed one piece, and if he's been looking for me, like, hey, I thought you were just grabbing these 3 things. I was looking for you. I couldn't find you. And then sometimes I feel a little guilty holding like that one, you know, foundation or whatever. Be like, I was just getting one extra thing I forgot I needed. So that's not really like secret, but it is a little bit like, I'm just gonna slide this into the cart. Maybe he won't notice that's where I was the extra 5 minutes trying to color match. But as like big purchases go, like the Tati palette that was kind of pricey compared to prices that I usually pay for eyeshadow palettes, no, I don't hide that stuff. If anything, my husband's very supportive. If he knows it's gonna be something for my channel, he's like, you know what, I think you have a lot of subscribers that would like that. You should get that. He's actually talked me into more makeup than talked me out of makeup. Real talk. Do you have more than 10 products in your collection that you have not used in over a month? Ooh, so the bigger channels are probably all gonna say, yeah, absolutely, because they have a huge, you know, storage space for beauty, and you guys have seen my beauty room tour in my tiny house. It's very small. If I do, I generally weed them out with the Shop My Stash by year end for the most part, but let me peruse. I could say certain things like this is a foundation that I like to use in the summer because it matches my skin tone in the summer, like stuff like this. Same with concealers. I can't use them for a while, but I don't know if that would add up to 10 at all for me. You know what, I'm just gonna even say, even as a tiny house beauty YouTuber that has minimal space and generally talks about Boxycharm, Ipsy, and drugstore, a few high-end makeup pieces, I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, 10 feels like it's realistic for me to have between different primers I'm trying, foundations, concealers, blushes. I'll get those sometimes in, you know, my subscription boxes and be rotating them around to see which ones I like. So I'm sure that there are 10 things in my beauty space that I haven't used in over a month, but generally through the year, like I said, you'll see me weed out and do some declutters as I bring in more. So it's probably not as excessive as some channels, but yeah, I'd like to work on that more. Have you ever been pressured to purchase something you could not afford or did not need? I think this is a fantastic question for specifically small channels like myself to address. Yeah, and it's not, I think, with malice intent by any means, but a lot of times, even last year, I had a couple of viewers in my comments tell me that my content was getting too boring for them because I was talking about, you know, Boxycharm makeup or the latest drugstore things that I was really loving and how I was using it. Even if I had a different flair on the video or a different spin or technique or added in 1 or 2 different products, there was a few times that people have said, like, your channel's boring me, you're not talking about anything brand new, and I only want to hear about brand new things. Then unfortunately, my channel may not be for those people, and I have to be okay with that, even though I really like to make everybody happy. I want people to come here and enjoy what they're seeing, be entertained, learn something, maybe go away feeling a little better about their day than maybe they did to start, and just kind of go on. But there are some people that really are like, why aren't you trying the latest and greatest of this or that, or kind of tell me that I'm boring because I only kind of hit on Boxycharm or the things that you guys have seen in my latest videos. And that does suck. It's unfortunate. But my reality is that I do have not only just a tiny beauty space, I refuse to go broke or put my family in any kind of financial ruin of any sorts because of makeup. As a small beauty channel, we don't get paid a lot from YouTube as it is. So what I do try to bring in from YouTube, I try to balance out with purchases for entertainment and my quality as far as like my equipment goes, things like that. And I always do my best to make my videos as entertaining and as enjoyable for you guys as possible. But that does not mean that I'm gonna spend a lot of money on makeup that doesn't appeal to me or isn't my type. Just to please the masses so they can see me use it once or twice on camera to say, oh no, I knew it wasn't going to work for me, and it didn't. Now what do I do? I have even noticed some of the bigger than me channels, like Samantha March recently put on her Instagram, somebody pretty much wrote a paragraph on her latest video saying how her Will I Buy It's were really boring because she was passing on so much of this, and that they felt like it was her job to tell them about all the latest and greatest things. And that's so hard as a small content creator myself. One, because I am very small and I don't have a lot of money just to put towards those things, so I felt her pain on that. But also she was very transparent about going into debt really significantly in the beginning of her channel, trying to please her audience to buy the latest and greatest, and had to really get herself out of that hole. So I understand that, and I think a lot of consumers like you guys do too. And I think that's just honestly kind of like the deal with YouTube. I'm so glad though that I feel like YouTube has evolved a little bit, and it seems like you don't have to buy the latest and greatest. There are different types of videos. You guys see them all the time on my channels. There's my Would You Rather series. I also have Declutter series. I also go through my Boxycharm videos and have spin-off videos with those. I love using my makeup. I want to see pan on it. I want to get my money's worth, and I want you to get your money's worth. So I'm so glad it feels like YouTube's kind of shifting away from that must buy, have everything mentality. I love seeing anti-hauls out there. I feel like that was a good step forward. I feel like these Will I Buy It's or Purchase or Pass videos are also a great way to not only help the actual content creator be like, oh, you know what? I have something similar to that, or oh, I don't need this. Or it helps you guys. So many times when I do those types of videos, you let me know how much it helps you, because it's so easy to get the FOMO and the fear of missing out and being like, I need to buy this because it's the latest and greatest from ColourPop and I love ColourPop, or, you know, whomever. I think that's a great step forward into not just being so big into consumerism. And I know I live in a tiny house, so you may be thinking, oh, she's a minimalist. What she doesn't understand. I do. I had a big house before too. I understand what it's like to be like really curious about the latest and greatest when it's a passion for you like makeup. But I think it's also important to spend our money wisely so we have it to do other things with too. And I will never judge you if you buy something or don't buy something, because I love you guys just for you, and lucky for me, you guys love me even though I don't buy everything, and that I like to just kind of have my own little spin on my videos here. So thank you. Number 12. Do you purchase makeup for collector reasons? I feel like the only brand I've ever even gotten close to at that is ColourPop, because for a while there, I did have a little bit of a collector's mentality with them. But then they started really growing really rapidly, and at one point they had turned from just kind of releasing things every now and again to, as we all know, being the company that never sleeps. So we always see new releases from them. So that really helped me to kind of back off and be like, okay, that cool palette looks amazing, but you just bought one 2 weeks ago. You don't need every one of them. And I also know that they started kind of like taking stuff away from their website, adding new products like lippies and super shock shadows, things like that. It helped me from feeling like I had to collect all the time when they were starting to remove stuff and putting out stuff every other day, because I was like, okay, that's just getting silly. I can't buy everything. And number 13, in your makeup journey, have you become less or more consumeristic? I think you guys already know this answer, but definitely less consumeristic, especially within this past year of going tiny in a tiny house. When I first started my channel, we lived in a really big house in the Midwest, and it was a goal because I was watching like the OG YouTubers that we all loved. I had so many favorites that I was watching in like that 2012, 2013, and 14 time frame that I did want to buy whatever they had just because they knew how to properly use it and could make an eye look amazing, do a whole face, do some nose contour, all of these amazing things. So I thought I needed exactly what they had. And now that I'm further along in my makeup journey and understand makeup better, and I've also just changed my mindset in a lot of ways about everything, I definitely purchase less. And I think a lot of people everything's evolving, everything's changing. YouTube is not what it was when we all first started watching it, what it is now, and then what it's going to be in the future. Everything is ever evolving. If you're not growing, you're dying. So I'm happy to say that I have become less consumeristic, but the quality is what's important to me. It's kind of like that I'd rather have quality over quantity mentality, because the things that I did purchase, that even though they were maybe pricier than what Nichole would have spent 2 years ago, they're quality products. This was the first baby that I threw my coins at the end of last year, I believe in November when she did her drop, and I was really excited for it, and I can't shut up about it. I think this palette is amazing. I also jumped into this baby this year, and I'm using this on my eyes today. I did the other day as well, and so far I'm really enjoying it. But now you've also seen me say, these are going to be the last two big things I buy for a while, because I don't need everything. I've also become really good about looking into my beauty space and being like, okay, what do you actually use and love versus what are you hanging on to because you got it from Boxycharm and you want to be able to talk about it year end. Well, I no longer hang on to all of that because it's not worth it in my space, and in my search of the good stuff, sometimes you got to weed out some of the bad, and if you keep the bad stuff in your collection, you're just moving stuff around and hoarding, and at that point that's a totally different TV show we'll be on. So I even don't mind getting rid of some of the things that I no longer enjoy or have found it doesn't work for me. Guys, I hope this video was kind of fun for you to kind of understand a little bit of the inner workings behind the scenes of at least my tiny little beauty YouTube channel here. Like I said, I'm going to be tagging Andrea down below with her link so you can watch her tag and the original creator. And I'm going to just maybe toss a few names down there of some people that I'd love to see this with too. But if I don't tag you and you still want to do it and you have a channel, Get to it. I would love to watch it and see what you think about these as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you happen to be new to my crazy little channel, hi new friends. I hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below, or my little icon that's right over here, I do believe, so you can be subscribed and not miss out on any future uploads for these fun, loud, weird, unique videos I do every single week. Bye friends.